Have you ever tried to read a book, but then you read one sentence, and then you have to reread the sentence again, and then reread it again, because it didn't really register to you what you just read, and then it ends up taking you like half an hour just to finish one page? It's not that you can't read, but like the stuff just doesn't stay in your head. That's how I was too. But the game Dark Souls taught me how to fix it. I've learned how to actually focus and concentrate whenever I want to, and I'm gonna teach you how to do it too. In Dark Souls, there are a few bosses where you have to fight two people at once, a 2v1. When you fight the boss yourself, or you go on YouTube and search up how to beat this boss, no matter which 2v1 boss it is, they always tell you the same thing. You need to focus on this one first, and hit him and kill him first, and then focus on the other one once the first one is gone. You need to minimize your priorities and intentionally choose to just focus on one thing only at a time. And then once the first thing is completed, then you can shift focus onto the second thing. If you try to split your attention between both, you die every time. And real life is the same way. First of all, you gotta know your objective. If you don't know what you're supposed to do, then how will you focus on doing it? That's the first step to getting in flow. Know what you're about to do. When you don't know what you're gonna give your time to, you just spread it thin. You don't have that focal point of energy that you can, without hesitation, give everything, like all of your effort to. We just do stuff to pass the time. Passive individuals. When you don't have this focal point of energy and concentration, it starts going to useless stuff that doesn't get you anywhere. It just puts you in passive mode. Bro thinks this is GTA 5 going in passive mode. But you can't multitask your energy. You gotta give it all to one thing, or else your full focus is not gonna be there. Your attention is all split. So when you do one thing, you're still simultaneously thinking of the other things, so you're not actually fully in it. What you need to do is make things more simple. Reduce the number of things you need to do to the most important ones. Then practice mindfulness and presence while doing these things. Simplify your priorities. Kill one boss at a time. If you want to be productive, don't think that you need to be like a professional right away, like 8 hours straight of just working, because you're not used to that length of time and it'll just make your focus wane and you'll probably get distracted. Instead, set a realistic goal, like, alright, I know what I need to do and I know how to do it, so let me just give it 30 minutes. Just give it your absolute full attention for only 30 minutes. Then you're free to go do something else. Because honestly, 30 minutes of deep work is better and just gets you better results than 4 hours of sidetracked and unfocused work that you kinda weren't really there for. So if you have trouble focusing, make things easier for yourself and limit the amount of things you want to do and just focus on the important ones. And then set realistic expectations for time that you can handle to give it your full attention. Your presence and mindfulness are more dialed in when you know that you only have to do 30 minutes. So you're really just totally in it and giving it your best intentions and effort. Probably the most important thing you can do for your focus is actually care about the thing that you're doing. When you don't care about things, it becomes harder to focus. And we already know this, right? Like, if you're like me, you struggled focusing in school. Sometimes not even intentionally, but you just end up getting distracted or daydreaming or whatever. You don't pay attention. Even sometimes you really wanted to pay attention, but you still got distracted. I think a big reason for this happening, even against our will, is because we just really didn't care about what was being taught. We didn't care about the content of the learning, and so it became harder to focus, because our brain just turned off when it came to stuff we don't care about. But when it comes to something that we care about, something that we intentionally chose for ourselves, we decided that we wanted to use our time for this thing, then it becomes easier to focus. Maybe you have your own hobbies like building Lego or computers or something. Somehow all of a sudden you have full focus at a kind of level you may have never seen yourself at before. Like such a deep focus that you even forget to breathe or blink. Like extremely fucking focused because you genuinely care about what you're doing and you wanted to do it. When a task clearly serves a goal you care about, it stops competing with every shiny distraction and starts feeling like the obvious next move. Effort feels easier because the reward signal of anticipating a meaningful outcome shows up earlier. Meaning reduces friction. That's why the same hours spent studying can feel unbearable in a class you don't care about, but time flies by when you're building something that matters to you. With low purpose work, you're usually running on external pressure like grades or deadlines or pleasing others. This causes lots more anxiety, lots of procrastination, and little satisfaction. High purpose work taps into intrinsic drivers. You like it because you chose it. You're getting getting better at it. You can make progress and improve. You can help people you care about. You're not just trying to focus. You're pulled forward by a thread that connects today's effort to a future you actually would want. Meaning also simplifies decision making. Focus collapses when your brain is juggling, why am I even doing this? With a clear reason why. You eliminate internal debate. Every small action inherits importance from a larger mission. That reduces context switching, which is the silent killer of deep work. Purpose becomes like a filter. If it helps towards the mission, it's a yes. If not, it's a no. If you're stuck in school or a job that feels pointless, you can still borrow the benefits of purpose by translating tasks into outcomes you actually value. Don't think of it as just memorize chapter 7 of the textbook. Think about it as like, I'm studying to get a better job so I can provide for my beautiful wife and family soon, which is what I really want in the end. Even if I don't have a wife right now, that's the plan in the end. Now the same studying feeds a project that serves people, not just a stupid chapter in a stupid textbook. Purpose isn't only what you do, it's about who benefits and how. In Dark Souls, when you die too many times and you lose your purpose, then you go hollow. You lose your humanity. You become distracted, empty, and wandering. And that's what short form content does to your brain. Attention span is the length of time one coherent thought can stay in your head. That stability is what allows focus, reasoning, and creativity. But short form content, especially the algorithmically tuned, high stimulation kind, trains the exact opposite habit. Every video introduces a new context, sound, face, or emotional tone every few seconds, forcing your brain to reset constantly. After enough repetition, your mind gets used to this rapid thought switching. You stop lingering on any idea long enough to process it deeply. It's like you're giving yourself ADHD, not the medical disorder, but the same scattered internal experience. Overlapping thoughts, constant novelty seeking, and a baseline sense of restlessness when nothing instantly stimulates you. When your attention span shrinks, thinking itself becomes fragmented. Reading a book, studying, writing, or editing all start to feel too slow. You crave the dopamine spikes that come from novelty, so ordinary work feels unbearably dull. You open new tabs, check your phone, not because you want to, but because your brain expects constant stimulation now. That's why short form content ruins deep work, because it rewires your default mental pace so the calm, uninterrupted state that focus requires feels unnatural now. Meditation is the deliberate practice of focusing. It's like the Dark Souls bonfire. When you sit, focus on your breath, and notice your mind wandering, and every time you gently bring your attention back, you're expanding that single thought duration. You're teaching your brain to stay. Over time, that extends how long you can stay focused on one single thought before it gets hijacked by another thought, which is what short form habits shorten. The moment that you realize you're distracted and you pull back your focus to what you were thinking about, it's like a repetition in the gym. With enough reps, you start to experience flow, a state where you can hold one thing, like the task at hand, for minutes or even hours without your thoughts interrupting you. Your brain will always chase the activity that gives it the biggest, fastest dopamine hits. That's just how motivation works. If something in your life, like food or scrolling or whatever, gives you more immediate stimulation than your creative work or studies, then your brain learns that those things are the real reward. So when you sit down to do meaningful work, your brain feels like, why are we doing this slow, boring thing when the phone is right there? By putting the dopamine top prize in your work, you flip that hierarchy. You make the work itself feel like the most rewarding, challenging, exciting thing you do. That doesn't mean you suddenly love every small, boring thing. It means you condition your brain to associate satisfaction with the process of producing, solving, and building rather than consuming. In Dark Souls, you eventually start to love the grind because you see the progress. Each death teaches you something. Each small victory gives you that rush. That's what you want to create with your real-life work. You can do this by cutting or minimizing the quick dopamine hits like scrolling. Attach emotional rewards to progress. Keep track of streaks. Celebrate completed tasks. Visualize how today's effort pushes you towards something you deeply value. You can also gamify your progress. Replace external dopamine with internal dopamine. There's satisfaction in mastery, creative breakthroughs, and small wins. Over time, your brain learns deep work equals pleasure. That's how you start craving work instead of distraction. High drama relationships, online arguments, the latest news, constant group chats, reels, scrolling, they all pour irrelevant information into your mind. Each one steals small bits of cognitive bandwidth. Every piece of gossip, political outrage, or influencer beef adds another unfinished thread in your head. But focus thrives on closure. Your brain can only juggle so many open loops before it fragments. You need to cut exposure to drama and gossip. Don't click comment sections or reaction videos. Limit social media use. Only use them intentionally, like to post or learn or connect with people. Don't use it passively. You also need to kill digital distractions ruthlessly, which means turn off notifications, put your phone somewhere else, out of sight, out of mind. Limit any and all distractions as much as possible so that you have every reason to stay focused, and less reason to get suddenly pulled out of the focus. When you do these things, your baseline anxiety drops, your mind stops spinning, and you can sit down to work without a storm of thoughts like trying to hijack your focus. You only focus on the thing that you intentionally want to think about. So yeah, that's why your brain can't focus anymore. If you like Dark Souls and self-improvement, I've just started a new community. You can join it with the first link in the description. Take care, guys. I hope this helped. Don't you dare go hollow.